Hi, my name is Kimberly Linson, Director of Business Development here at RANDA Solutions, and we are working on solving data challenges for many of our customers related to COVID credentials, and I want to take a little bit of time to show you what we think the challenges are and how we're addressing them. First, let me tell you just a little bit about who we are. We are a group of future-thinking technology architects. We've been focused for many years on state agencies and especially in education. We've been working to build data and workflow management systems for teacher licensure, teacher effectiveness and evaluation, and really to usher in what we believe is the dawning of a new era in public education. So how do we do this? Well, we listen to our customers and we learn and we iterate. And we've learned some really valuable lessons from our state customers around data that we feel has great implications in this new COVID credentialing landscape. First, there's a really big disconnect between the data that leaders are looking for that will help them to make decisions and the way that they are structured and thinking about what that information means and the lessons that it can bring them. And then what's actually happening on the side of the person who's entering that data. They don't have those same questions in mind. They don't understand the big picture. And so often the data being entered doesn't yield answers to the questions being asked. And inside of that is many confusing fields, very confusing mapping, many tables. We have a customer who had over 200 tables, many of which were obsolete, but were being forced to be used for one thing or a very small thing or even nothing at all. And we were able to bring that down to 40 tables. Mismatched data is a huge issue. We have a state that we worked with who had 50,000 students who were duplicated. And that happens when a student is enrolled in one school and then they move and they enroll in another school, and now they have two records, and in many cases they even have multiple. And of course, the last one is that we are truly believers in standards and following standards. But what often happens when you're dealing with state level customers is that 99% of the standard works. And then there's that 1% where we say, oh, we just need this a little bit different for us. So how does all of this data and challenges around data apply to the COVID world? Well, I'd like to think about two scenarios that we're working hard to address for our school customers. One is the student healthy enough to be in the school building? Right now, so much of what's happening regarding students and teachers being in the classroom, it's self-reported, filling out a survey each morning, taking a temperature. Are these questions around things that symptoms you might feel, checking boxes on those. And that kind of self-reported data is very dangerous because it is a high stakes environment. If I'm a working parent, I need my student to go to school, there is going to be false data because I know he doesn't really have a sore throat. It's really just an allergy. And so I make a decision about what I check, which boxes I check, not based on necessarily fact, but on my own perception of the world. And certainly schools are now in a situation where they're looking at those pieces of data as they come in with a sense of desperation. We're trying to get students into school, but we're trying to keep them healthy. And they're so focused on that feeling of desperation that they're not actually looking at the logic and business rules. And so we're really working on crafting ways that schools can embark on trustable data so they know exactly who is healthy enough to be in the school building. We also see that Pandora's vaccine box has been open. 91 million people have a record of their vaccine, but it's not a proof. And so dirty data abounds. And There's so many situations where a patient shows up early for their appointment, they're given the shot, and then they are marked absent because they didn't show up in the window of time that they were supposed to. This is going to cause all kinds of issues, and getting that vaccine able to be proved so that we know, again, who's healthy enough to be in the school building is really going to be challenging. So we have to look ahead and think about how we're going to be providing credentials for COVID vaccines in the future, but we also need to be looking behind and how we're going to address all of those people who have received a COVID vaccine and yet don't have any true proof of it. So really, what we believe and what we've seen play out is that the technical solutions are easy. In just a moment, I'm going to show you our technical solution, and you're going to see it's simple and easy to plug in, but it is the data cleanup and alignment that is going to be a real challenge going forward. And we believe that we have the tools in place based on our state level experience to do that. So first of all, we need to address real people. Data collection must be simple, and it needs to be done in real time. We need to think about that the credential holders are humans. They think that they have a proof. They think, what's in it for me? I need to go to school. I need to answer those questions. So we need to make this something that is very easy for them to use. So let me introduce you to the Integrated Communications Portal. This portal starts with where the current world consumes credentials. We're able to address right away what happens with credentials, and we're moving effectively toward being able to provide zero knowledge and BBS plus proof methods. We found with working with COVID-19 diagnostics that many labs were experiencing significant test volume versus lab personnel overload. They didn't have the personnel to be able to run all the tests and do all the work and provide timely communications. And that communication was happening all over the place: email, text, leaving voicemails, trying to get back and forth with someone to get them in person so you could give them their result. And so we really needed to find a way to provide a timely result, and we needed to be able to align that vaccinated individual with their credential. This market is definitely evolving very, very quickly, and we need to be able to be flexible and nimble to stay up with what customers need. So what we built was a very simple integrated communications portal. It collects only very minimal data. It has a 24-hour result turnaround. We're able to fax, email, and deliver a full report to the Department of Health or physicians, and we're also able to provide an individual email and text delivery to the patient and provide them with their communication. It's absolutely scalable to meet any demand, and we can now have that result available as a verifiable credential. This solution was approved by the Department of Health in less than a week, and the lab reports that their staff is now able to process many more tests because they're not doing the patient communication piece. Lab staff completes the data entry as normal, and the patient receives a unique text message. Clicking on the link in the text message will bring them to this screen where they can input their last name and date of birth. Those two pieces of information will provide them with their result. Additional information related to the patient's test is provided, and patients are also able to download a document version of their result or to turn their result into a verifiable credential. So that's our simple solution with the integrated communication portal and how we can really help communicate with patients effectively and efficiently for lab staff. Our next steps are really to iterate and to integrate with additional electronic health records. We're finding challenges in making sure that all of the fields and tables, just as I mentioned at the beginning, that data is critical. We're adding more and more labs every day, and we're looking forward to having vaccine data available very soon. If you have questions about the integrated communications portal and how you might begin using it, please give me If you have questions or are interested in using the integrated communications portal, please email me at kimberly.linson@randasolutions.com and we will set up a time to talk. And thank you so very much for watching this presentation.